Welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to look at plagiarism. So, what is plagiarism? Plagiarism is the act of using someone else's work, ideas, or words without giving proper credit or permission. So, plagiarism can occur in various forms, such as copying and pasting content from a source, paraphrasing without proper citation, using someone else's idea without acknowledgement, and submitting someone else's work as one's own. So, in summary, we are saying that plagiarism is basically copying and pasting of someone's work in order to get grades or results. That is very wrong, and it is what we call academic dishonesty. If you are plagiarizing work or if you are copying someone's work directly without citation, without referencing, that is plagiarism. It is condemned, especially at the university. We want our students plagiarizing. That is because we encourage originality and authenticity. We want you to use your brain instead of copying and pasting someone's work. So many students at this level, what they do is when they are given assignment, they go to the internet, the answer, then transfer whatever they got on the internet to the academic writing and then they submit. That is very wrong. You are simply stealing someone's idea for the purpose of passing. So I'm sure after this presentation, you're going to know how plagiarism can be avoided, how you're going to write academic paper or research without necessarily plagiarizing, etc. Now let us look at the importance of understanding plagiarism. Why is it important for you as a student of this university to, to know what plagiarism is? Why is it important? One is it maintains academic and professional integrity. For example, if you are given an assignment and you use your own brain, okay, the work instead of copying and pasting from someone's work, then that integrity is maintained. That professionality is there because academics is all about testing your intelligence. It's all about testing how much you have understood that particular enrolled in. So if you can use your brain and pass, then that is okay. But again, if you don't pass, you don't pass. It is not bad. Okay, you can repeat the module, then next time maybe perform better than copying and pasting. So by you copying and pasting, you are not honest to yourself, you are not honest to the institution. So for us, we can penalize you for that if you are just copying and pasting because we want the integrity of this university. We want you to have a very good degree which is free of plagiarism. The next important is avoid the serious consequences that can result from plagiarism, such as academic sanctions, loss of credibility, and legal penalties. For example, if people notice that the students of this university are plagiarizing, they're just copying things from the internet, pasting, or they don't want to do their original work, what do you think they will take us for? The institution. Okay, that credibility, we're going to lose it. Look at this university, those ones, copying and pasting, they don't do work. Okay, the institution is going to lose credibility. That is in the context of the university. How about you as individual? If they know that you are just copying things and pasting, you don't have the ability to do your own work. Of course, you also lose credibility. Your paper becomes very useless. It has no use. Why? Because the marks you have obtained are not actually your brain. They are not yours. So therefore, you lose that kind of credibility. So try as much as possible to avoid plagiarism. The next one is develops good research and writing habits that can enhance academic and professional success. At the university level, you are supposed to write research. If you're doing diploma or bachelor's, you need to know how to write research because research is all about citations, all about referencing. Because the topic you are planning to conduct your study on, someone somewhere had already done a study on it. So you are not the first person. So for you to make sure that you are not copying directly from what they have already done, you to acknowledge them through what we call referencing or citation. So later on, we're going to look at that, what referencing is. So basically, these are some of the importance of understanding plagiarism in the context. So you need to be familiar with how you can avoid plagiarism. Now let us look at the forms of plagiarism. One is copying and pasting. Copying and pasting refers to directly copying content from a source and pasting it into your work without giving proper credit or permission. This type of plagiarism can be intentional or unintentional. So how is it intentional? It is intentional if you are taught on what plagiarism is and also how you can do referencing. That is the intentional. But unintentional means you actually don't know. You are not taught on plagiarism. So for you think that it is normal to copy and then just paste without referencing. So that is unintentional. So this occur in various forms such as copying entire paragraphs or sentences or copying and pasting images or data without attribution. So some students, what they do is normally they copy a paragraph. You find that one full paragraph is just plagiarized. Everything, the words, the punctuation marks, etc. Nothing has changed. So that is how they copy the paragraph. Others they copy the entire chapter. Okay, the entire chapter. If it is research proposal, chapter one, that's introduction. They copy each and everything and paste it there. That is very serious academic crime. So don't do that. That's all about copying and pasting. Now let us look at the next form of plagiarism, that is paraphrasing without proper citation. So paraphrasing refers to restate someone else's ideas or words in your own words. In other words, we are saying that paraphrasing is all about rewriting the original text without necessarily changing its meaning. So, however, paraphrasing without proper citation can still be considered plagiarism if the original source is not properly acknowledged. So much as we have said that you can avoid, plagiarism through paraphrasing, but again, if you don't acknowledge the source, it is still plagiarism. So as you are doing the paraphrasing or as you are rewriting the text, make sure to acknowledge the source where you get that idea from for you to be safe. But otherwise, if you just go there and change the words in your own understanding and then leave it like that without any citation, then you are actually plagiarizing. The next form of plagiarism is using someone else's idea without acknowledgement. So, using someone else's idea without acknowledgement refers to incorporating an idea or concept from a source into your work without giving proper credit or permission. This can occur when the idea is used without modification or when the source of the idea is not properly cited. So, when you talk of modification, it is simply not paraphrasing the content or not paraphrasing the paragraph. What you do is you just copy exactly what is there and they put it into your academic writing. So that is plagiarism. So you need to modify it and then also acknowledge the source or the citation for you to be safe. So that is another form of plagiarism. This is common with the students. The next form of plagiarism is submitting someone else's work as one's own. Okay, submitting someone else's work as one's own refers to presenting someone else's work, such as an essay or research paper, as if it were your own. This can occur when the work is purchased or downloaded from a website, or when someone else writes the work for you. So you go to the internet, look for the topic of your studies. Someone did the study on that topic. You just download it. What you do is only put your name, your registration number, and your personal details. Then you submit, and you expect to get a grade. You see. Now, when it comes to time for defending, you will not even defend your research because it is not yours. You even don't know what is inside that document. All you know is your name. So that is how people end up losing credibility because they just want to copy and paste in things, downloading things from internet and then submitting it. That person took I don't know how long to publish that book, and for you to come just in 1 minute, 2 minutes, you want to submit it and claim that you are the one who did the work. That is not allowed. Now let us look at some of the consequences of plagiarism. So one is the academic consequences. Academic consequences of plagiarism can include failing a course, receiving a lower grade, or even expulsion from school. So when you talk of failing the course, it is because you have plagiarized. Whatever you get will give you zero. That is depending on the gravity or depending on the extent of plagiarism. But if the extent of plagiarism is not much or it's low, then we can deduct uh, your marks as a penalty or even expulsion from school if you continuously plagiarize work instead of doing original work. You copy and paste today, maybe you are forgiven by deducting your marks. Then again tomorrow you also go and copy and paste. So the university will have no choice but to terminate you. So be careful of plagiarism. Don't just go there and play around. Use your brain. You have the resources. The internet is there. Please make good use of them and do original work. So we are not saying that don't Google answers. No, you can Google answers. You can consult other people. You can compare work with other people. But remember the rules. Citation, it is a must. So another consequences and academic is that it can damage students' academic reputation and hinder their future academic and professional opportunities. If you are discovered that you have been plagiarizing since you joined this university up to the third year or the second year, what will happen in future? You go to another institute, you want to upgrade for masters, but when they realize that you are plagiarizing, they will not give you the opportunity to upgrade. Even in the labor market, okay, you're looking for opportunities, for the job opportunities with your papers, which is plagiarized, in fact, which is not actually yours. The paper which is not actually yours because you are not the one who worked for it. Someone else worked for that paper, then for you put their names. So it will also affect your employability. The potential employers will not give you much attention because of plagiarism. So these are some of the academic consequences of plagiarism. Now let us look at the professional consequences. Professional consequences of plagiarism can include loss of credibility. I've already explained to you. If you are the human resource manager, but people eventually discover that you had been plagiarizing, then they do not look at you as a human resource manager. They look at you as a normal human being, but not a human resource manager because of plagiarism. So it damage reputation and even termination of employment. Okay, some organizations they don't tolerate uh, unethical behavior. In fact, plagiarism is unethical behavior. So they don't tolerate. The moment they discover that you have been plagiarizing, they will just terminate your contract. That's because they have a reputation. They want to have a very good reputation in the society. You can't have a reputation when you have workers who are having forged documents or even plagiarizing things. So that one they will not allow if you really want to maintain a reputation in the society. Plagiarism and forgery will not be allowed. So plagiarism in the workplace can also lead to legal action and financial penalty. Okay, you will be taken to court, of course, especially copyright infringement, etc., whereby you'll be paying a lot of money, even you'll be sentenced to I don't know how long in prison just because plagiarism. That's why it's very important for us. We normally tell you what you are supposed to do, but if you don't take it into consideration, into action, it's upon you. For us, we tell you the reality, then it is you to implement it. Take it or you can leave it. But I'm advising you, please avoid plagiarism. Now let us look at how you can avoid plagiarism. Number one is referencing and citation. That's the only way you are going to avoid plagiarism because the topic you are conducting your study on has been used in studies some years back by different scholars. I don't know how many times, but you are not the only one. That's what you need to know. So for you to avoid the element of plagiarism, you need to make sure that the referencing and the citation is noticed throughout your work. Now let us look at referencing. What is it? Referencing, also known as citation, is a method used in academic writing to acknowledge and provide credit to the sources of information and ideas that you have used in your work. Like I've told you before, the topic you are conducting studies on is not actually first of its kind. People have been doing research, people have been studying. So for you to be safe, acknowledge them through referencing or citation. Now, why is referencing important? One is giving credit. Referencing acknowledges the original authors or creators of the information, giving them proper credit for their work. That is reason number one. I've spent a lot of time doing my work, and if you are really going to borrow my idea, you need to give me that credit. If you don't give me that credit, then you are not fair. After spending nearly months or 3 months doing the work, but for you come from there and they borrowed my idea without acknowledging me. That's not so. You need to give me credit for my work. The next importance is providing evidence. By referencing reputable sources, you provide evidence to support your argument and claims, making your work more credible and reliable. So people will only believe in your argument when you have evidence. That is through referencing citation. For example, if you are talking about COVID-19, okay, maybe you want to say that COVID-19 is contagious. Now, who says that? You need to acknowledge the source so that people can believe in you. Because you might not be a doctor. How can you tell someone that COVID-19 is contagious? So you can put there maybe WHO, okay, World Health Organization 2020, I mean 2019 or 2018, things like that, or 2020. Okay, that is how you acknowledge. Now, when people are reading your text, when the moment they see that it is WHO, they know that with World Health Organization, it is a credible organization. It deals with the health-related issues worldwide. So people will now start believing in your text. Otherwise, if you don't acknowledge that, they will question you. Who told you that COVID-19 is contagious? You get the point. So we do referencing because we want to provide evidence. We want the people to believe in our argument. So basically, these are some of the purpose of referencing. Maybe to add on that, it allows further research. It allows further research. Reference allow readers to locate and access the sources you used, enabling them to explore the topic further or verify the information you have presented. So, like I've told you before, these topics have been used for studies by different scholars. Okay, your topic today, tomorrow, someone is also going to use it. So, for him or for her to refer your work, they have to look for the reference. Where did you get your information from? That one will help them to understand the topic more. So basically, these are some of the importance of having reference or citation in your academic writing. Now, let us look at referencing styles. Basically, we have four or three main referencing style. One is the Harvard, then you have the APA, which is the American Psychological Association, then the MLA, Modern Language Association, then also we have the Chicago. So these are some of the common referencing styles used in the academic writing. However, at the context of university, we encourage you to use Harvard referencing style. This is almost used in all universities across the globe. So for us at Christian University, we also encourage the use of Harvard referencing style. Now let us look at the Harvard referencing style. What is it? Harvard referencing style, also known as the author date system, has specific rules for in-text citation. Here are some general guidelines to follow. One, include the author's last name and the publication year. So, for example, Smith 20, 2010, 2010. So that is how you citation. That is one author. They use the author's name and then the publication year. 2010 or 2010 is when that author published his or her work. So that is the Harvard referencing style. Now let us look at another one, which is if there are multiple authors. The first one was for a single author, but this one is if there are multiple authors. Use an ampersand or in bracket and, that is the sign and, between the last two authors' names and use ETL, which means another or an others for more than two authors. For example, with two authors, you can have Johnson and Smith 2018. Then, example, with more than two authors, you can use Brown ETL, then 2027 or 2017 rather 2017. So that is how you do the citation for more than two authors. Now let us look at when you are citing source with the no identifiable author. So use the title of the work of the organization responsible for the content. For example, the title Global Warming Facts 2019. What you need to know is the year of publication is a must. Don't miss out the year of publication. Then let us look at example with an organization. World Health Organization 2022. It means that report was released or published in 2022. So if you are saying that COVID-19 is contagious disease, in bracket, okay, WHO, World Health Organization 2022. Now, someone who is reading your work will just know that it was WHO which declared that COVID-19 is contagious, but not you, the writer, okay, who's writing your research. So basically, that is how we do the Harvard reversing style. Now, for direct quotes include the page number or paragraph number after the year separated by a comma. Example, Mandela, comma, then 2003, comma, P stands for page number 26. Now, if someone is looking for that particular idea, he goes to page number 26 and then he will find there what you have cited. Now let us look at Harvard in-text citation rules. What are the rules of in-text citation? One is we look at when citing a book. So when you're citing a book, you say, according to Smith 2010, the concept of sustainable development has gained significant attention in recent years. So now, when someone is reading your work, he or she will just know that the idea is from Smith, not you doing your research. Okay, that's when you are citing a book. But when you are citing a journal, what happened or article? The study conducted by Johnson et al. 2018 revealed a positive correlation between regular exercise and mental well-being. So that is if you are citing a journal or article. That's how it is done. Now let us look at what if you are citing a web page with an author. When you are citing a web page with an author, you can say the World Health Organization 2022 emphasizes the importance of vaccination in preventing the spread of infectious. So that is how you do your citation. Then when you are citing a web page without an author, just write the title Global Warming Facts 2019 highlights the impact of greenhouse gas emissions on climate change. That's how you do your citation when you are citing a web page without that. and ultra. So when citing a direct quote, what do we do? Examples here. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Mandela, 2003, page 26. That's how you do the direct quotation. So here there is nothing to do with paraphrasing, you're just quoting directly what is in the text. The next one is when citing multiple authors. What do we do when we are citing multiple authors? Example, previous studies in bracket Brown et al., comma, 2017, Johnson and Smith, comma, 2019, have explored the effects of social media on self-esteem. So that is how you do citation multiple authors. So please, when you're writing your research proposal, you follow this order of Harvard in-text citation. Otherwise, if you don't cite properly, it is also what? Plagiarism. Now, the next way of avoiding plagiarism is, remember the first one we were looking at referencing and citation. Now we are looking at using plagiarism detection tools. Plagiarism detection tools such as Turnitin and Grammarly can help identify potential instances of plagiarism in your work. These tools can highlight passages that may be too similar to existing sources, allowing you to revise and properly cite them. So it means that if you have just copied somewhere and paste, if you go to those plagiarism detection tools, they will tell you the extent of similarity between what you have and what others have. Which is, if it is more than 80%, and that is too much. That is plagiarism actually. So you need to edit. By editing, I mean you need to paraphrase and then maybe change the way you do the referencing to make sure that it does not appear the same. So that's all about the plagiarism detection tool. But however, you don't need to rely basically on the tools. You can start your work from scratch. Use your brain, do your thing to avoid plagiarism instead of relying on the detection tools. Now, lastly is the paraphrasing. Proper paraphrasing involves restating someone else's ideas or words in your own words while still giving proper credit to the original source. It is important to understand how to paraphrase properly, such as by changing the structure and wording of the source and using proper citation. Like I've told you before, uh, paraphrasing alone doesn't mean you are safe. You are not safe. You can paraphrase and at the same time acknowledge the author by replacing or citation. So paraphrasing is simply rewriting someone's work without necessarily changing the original meaning of the content. So use your own words to write and then acknowledge the source by referencing citation. And that's what I had for you in this presentation. See you in the next presentation. Thanks for watching.